Okay, the order of operations is just another way to say something we know about already. Bitmass, or sometimes we'd say BOMDAS. So when we're working out an operation, working out an expression, or evaluating, we start with the brackets first. That's what the B stands for. So anything that's in brackets, like this, that's what we do first. Notice that this -2 is also in brackets. So this in itself is not an operation. You don't do anything with it. It's just a -2. That's just what it is. And it's just in brackets there to keep it separate from everything else. So that's not really an operation bracket. That's more of a convenience bracket. But these that have an operation, plus, minus, multiplication, division, that's what we're going to do first. The next one is indices, like if you had 2 squared or 3 to the power of 4, but we're not really there yet. And then the next two, isn't it interesting that this is correct and that is correct? Division, multiplication, that's what you do next, but which one first? This one says multiplication, then division. Well, you have to do multiplication or division next, and you do it whichever one comes first from left to right. So we have a multiplication and we have a division. Which one do we do next after we've done our brackets? We've got to do this one, because from left to right, we come across multiplication first, and then, having worked this out, then we can do the division. Let's put it into practice. Okay, so we're using the operations here. First thing is B for brackets. Okay, I'm going to look for brackets. Is this a bracket? No. That is just a way of separating out a negative number and making sure that it is clear. Don't have any indices. Do I have division or multiplication? That's addition. That's multiplication. So what we're going to do is this one first. So I'm going to copy out the 5 again, and I'm going to work this out. 2 times -3, a positive times a negative, is 6, but it's actually going to be -6 because 1 is positive and 1 is negative. And so 5 plus -6, if we use a number line, we find that takes us back to -1, because we started at 5 and then we hopped back 6 in that direction. But you've got to make sure that you do the multiplication or division first and then do addition and subtraction. So again, with B, using the order of operations, I don't have any bracket. This doesn't count as a bracket. That's just there for convenience. It's not an operation. No indices, so division or multiplication. I've got multiplication here and I've got division here. Which one comes first? I'm going from left to right. So -6 times 2, 6 times 2 is 12, and it's going to be negative because I've got one negative and one presumed positive, so they're different. Now I'm not going to subtract 10 yet because the next thing I have to do is either multiplication or division. So I'm going to do 10 divided by -5, and 10 divided by -5 gives us a positive and a negative, gives us a negative. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, but because it's -5, one is positive, one is negative, and we have negative. So I should be putting an equal sign in here. And now I can do that final bit of subtraction. So -12 minus -2 is actually -12 plus 2. And if you were on a number line, -12 would be far to the left of 0. So we're going to add 2 positives to that, and our answer is going to be -10, because we've added 2 to a largely negative number. Okay, we're going to evaluate, find the answers to the following. Now, we do actually have brackets. So that is -2 minus 1 in brackets. So we have to do that first, and then we do times 8. So -2 minus 1 is the same as saying -2 plus -1. That's the way I like to think about it. And I copy out the plus 8, the multiplication of 8 as well. So -2 plus -1 is -3. Copying out the times 8 again. 8 times 3 is 24, but because they're different, positive and negative, that comes out to a negative number. Do we have any brackets here? Yes. So we've got to start with this operation in brackets first. So I'm going to copy out the 5 divided by, I'll copy out the whole thing. This is what I'm going to solve first. I'm going to copy out the other stuff again, even though I'm not doing it. -10 plus 5 is going to be -5, because on the number line, I'm starting 10 left or below 0 and adding 5 back on. And then I add 5 to that. The next thing I'm going to do, remember these aren't really brackets, these are just separators to make the -5 really stand out. I'm going to work out this. 5 divided by 5 is 1, but it's 5 divided by -5, so that makes it -1. Copying that plus 5 down again. Notice how my equal signs all line up. -1 plus 5. I take 1 away from 5. If I'm on my number line, I'd end up at 4.